Do you have the lunch ready?
It's ready. I'm Nanoka, a 45-year-old stay-at-home wife. I live with my freelancer husband, Masaya, and his daughter, Misaki. This is my first marriage, but Masaya's second. Misaki is the daughter of his ex-wife, Kazuko. People often say, wow, you really married him, but I couldn't have kids after an illness in my younger years. For me, marrying Masaya and becoming a stepmother to adorable Misaki was a blessing at the time. If I could go back, I'd return to the days before we got married. When we first met, Misaki was so sweet and friendly. She warmed up to me immediately.
Nanoka, when will you become my mom?
Would you be happy if I became your mom, Misaki?
Yeah, I love you, Nanoka.
But after the marriage, her attitude slowly changed.
I can't eat this tough meat. You're such a terrible cook, old lady.
I'm sorry. The more I apologized, the more insolent she became. When I finally decided to scold her,
Daddy, Mom says something really mean to me.
hey, Misaki,
Unbelievable. Don't hurt my daughter. Are you bullying her because she's not your real kid? You're just cruel.
what?
What does cruel mean?
It means someone's personality is rotten to the core.
That's so funny. The old lady was born defective.
How could he say such terrible things about me in front of her? Next, I tried having a talk with Masaya. Misaki isn't even a teenager yet, and she's already so spoiled. And it's awful how you take her side and make me the bad guy.
I'm just trying to support Misaki's feelings. The divorce was tough on her, and she still hasn't healed. Kazuko was cold to her, so she might have trouble accepting a mother figure. Please be patient with her.
Kazuko was reportedly all about her career, neglecting housework and parenting entirely. Because of this, Masaya asked me to quit my job and become a full-time housewife after we married. I understand the complexity of the situation, but there's a difference between being kind and being indulgent. The opposite of love is indifference, you know. Setting boundaries is also a form of love.
Got it. I take on the role of disciplining her. You be the kind one. Let's work together as a team.
Deal. Thanks for hearing me out.
Okay, enough about kids. Now it's time for us adults.
Oh,
Thank you for caring so much about Misaki. I'm really glad I married you, Nanoka. You're the best mother and my wonderful wife.
oh, Masaya. Ever since I lost the ability to have children, I've struggled with feeling unworthy of being loved. That's why I loved Masaya deeply. He wanted me not just as a mother figure, but as a woman. But I never once saw my husband discipline Misaki. As Misaki grew older and entered her rebellious teenage years, her behavior only worsened.
Stop bossing me around. You're not even family.
Even if we're not related, I'm still your mother.
Like a barren woman could ever be a real mother.
What? Misaki was sharp-witted and excelled academically, which translated into cutting insults as well. After that, I started avoiding her, terrified of what she might say next. Masaya became even more lenient with Misaki.
Dad, can I have some allowance?
Sure.
The burden always fell on me.
Starting next month, the household budget is down to 40,000 yen.
What? Cutting our budget just to give her more allowance is going too far.
I want her to enjoy life to make up for the struggles of her childhood.
Only 3 days left this month. I'll just make do with leftovers. Eventually, I collapsed from exhaustion. But that became the turning point that changed everything. Time passed, and it was just before university entrance exams.
Dad, I've decided to study abroad.
You're great at English, Misaki. Go for it.
She passed the exams with flying colors. And then,
Here, these are the application documents. It's all in English, so make sure to read them properly.
you want me to handle this?
It's the parents' job to create the right environment for their kid.
She only calls me parent when it's convenient. These days, she doesn't even talk to me unless she needs something. Fine. On the day she was leaving for the US.
What are you getting ready for?
Huh? I was going to see you off at the airport.
Ew, don't bother. That's enough. I got into a US college, so don't ever involve yourself in my life again.
Haha. She said it.
What is wrong with these two? Fine. If you're going to call me a stranger, then I'll act like one too. A week later in the US.
Finally, my dream of starting university abroad is here. And wow, so many tall, pale, handsome guys. Back in Japan, men were just wallets. But maybe I'll find true love here. No annoying stepmother and a bright future ahead. Living abroad is amazing.
Tuition and dorm fees, 5 million yen unpaid. Admission cancelled.
What?
Meanwhile, back in Japan, this is so relaxing. No Masaya, no Misaki, just me and a warm cup of tea. Pure bliss. Hello?
Hey, what's this about a transfer error and my admission being cancelled?
I'm just a stranger, remember? I left all the paperwork to your parent. Whatever happened after that isn't my concern.
We lived under the same roof and this is how you act?
I married Masaya, but I never legally adopted you. Masaya didn't want that, so legally, we're not parent and child. Besides, Masaya managed the household finances outside of basic living expenses like food. I have no idea what happened with your tuition money.
What the? You're completely useless.
Click. Oh, she hung up. Still as one-sided as ever. Exactly as planned. Kazuko, Masaya's ex-wife, smirked in front of me. 1 year ago, I had collapsed in front of the hospital Kazuko owns. When I woke up, it was during her lunch break, and she listened to my family troubles. What an awful father-daughter duo. Reminds me of my ex-family. You're divorced? Yeah, we drifted apart because of my work. My daughter hated me, so custody went to my ex. Even after that, all I got were requests for money, tuition, allowances, but I haven't seen her once. Oh. Thank you for your care. Here's my insurance card. Wait, this name and address. Are you Masaya's new wife? How do you know Masaya? Wait, is your ex-family Masaya and Misaki? Masaya told me his ex-wife didn't have a real job, so there was no child support. I paid 300,000 yen a month. Recently, I even added more for private school entrance exams. She went to public school. We realized Masaya had been deceiving both of us and decided on revenge. Meanwhile, Misaki returned to Japan after her admission was cancelled. She headed straight to her old home.
Sold? Why is our house listed for sale? Hello, Dad.
Misaki?
Where are you? I got told at college my tuition wasn't paid and my admission was canceled. And now our house is for sale. I can't even get inside.
Calm down. I'm busy right now.
I don't care. Just meet me at the diner near our house right now. First, tell me what happened with my tuition money.
Well, the truth is, Dad hasn't been working, so there's no money for tuition.
That doesn't make sense. We've been living just fine. Where's that money been coming from?
Kazuko child support. I use that to cover expenses.
Then why didn't you use it for my tuition?
There's no money left.
What? What did you spend it on?
What's going on?
Keeping quiet isn't going to help.
There's no need to shout. It's simple. Looks like your dad spent it on hostess clubs and affairs.
What? That old lady? Wait, who are you?
Long time no see. Or rather, maybe this is more of a nice to meet you. I'm Kazuko, your biological mother. My, you've grown.
What? You suddenly show up calling yourself my mother? And why are Dad's ex-wife and current wife sitting here together?
A few days earlier, Kazuko and I barged into Masaya's house.
What? What are these photos?
Can't you tell? They're proof of your numerous affairs. I hired a detective to dig up everything about you, Masaya. It turned out Masaya had been leaving home under the guise of working at libraries and cafes, but was actually spending time at various women's houses. He also splurged at hostess clubs. I can't believe I was paying exorbitant child support while you lived it up like that. I was nothing but your cash cow. And that's why you refused adoption, huh? If I became Misaki's legal mother and earned income, the support payments would have decreased. Plus, if something happened to me, Misaki would inherit. I was just a live-in maid and nanny, wasn't I? I heard you were a stay-at-home dad before. Guess you've taken being a slacker to new heights. In the end, Masaya spent every penny beyond the essentials on his indulgences. That's why there was no money left for Misaki's tuition.
If you had so much to say, Kazuko, you should have paid her tuition. I even asked you once, but you refused. You are her real mom, aren't you?
I wasn't about to throw money at you after finding out about your lies. Her actual father should have stepped up and earned it himself.
And you're technically her stepmother. You could have gotten a part-time job to help.
You and Misaki called me a stranger every chance you got. Don't suddenly treat me as family when it's convenient.
Then Misaki should have gotten a part-time job to pay for her own schooling. It's her education, isn't it?
What? How could you be so petty? Fine, then you take care of yourself, Masaya. I'm filing for divorce and moving out. I'll continue paying child support until Misaki graduates, as agreed before the divorce. But I'm taking this house back. It's still in my name. Good luck finding a new place. And so Kazuko evicted Masaya and put the house up for sale. And now...
What a joke! All those years Dad told me your mom hates us, that's why she doesn't help financially, or she wastes all her money on herself. Turns out Mom was the one footing the bill all along.
Excuse me? I never hated you two, and I only bought what was absolutely necessary for myself. Oh, I get it. You wanted to push me away with custody and milk child support for all it was worth. Masaya is beyond pathetic. Misaki, I understood how he drove us apart when you were little. But now, what do you think of me?
Don't act like you're my mother just because you showed up now.
I didn't come see you because Masaya told me you didn't want to meet me, so I made sure to pay extra child support instead.
I don't care. If you hadn't divorced him in the first place, none of this would have happened. Now fix it. Pay for my tuition and do something.
Did Masaya also say bad things about me too?
All right, fine. Dad used to say all the time, your new mom is a useless woman who can't even have kids, so don't bother being nice to her. That's why I treated you harshly. Someone like you needs discipline.
So that's why her attitude changed over time.
But let's be real. Dad wasn't wrong. You are a parasite who can't survive without leeching off others.
She's still saying things like this? I can understand how she acted as a child, but for her to still behave this way now, it's not just her father's fault. Nanoka, I completely understand why you wanted a divorce. I'm sorry my daughter caused you so much trouble.
Hey, why am I suddenly the bad guy here?
This isn't your fault. It started with Masaya, but Misaki is an adult now. This is her own issue. I've already divorced and left the house, so I have no ties to Misaki anymore.
Nanoka.
How dare you two treat me like some untamable brat? One of you gave birth to me, and the other raised me for 10 years. So what happens now? Who's going to take care of me? You can't just abandon me. That's irresponsible.
Your compulsory education is long over, and legally, you're old enough to be independent. Take responsibility for yourself.
If you thought you could be spoiled forever, you're dead wrong. Here's 10 million yen. This is the remaining child support I promised to pay until Misaki graduated. I'm giving it to you in one lump sum now. This is my final act of responsibility as a parent.
The sight of such a large sum made both Masaya and Misaki's eyes light up.
As her father, I should be the one to handle this.
Don't be ridiculous. This money is for me, so I'll take it.
You can't manage that much money.
You've already squandered our finances, like you're one to talk. It's safer with me.
Important announcement! Masaya cheated on me during our marriage, so I'm entitled to compensation. I'll take 3 million yen from this pile right now.
What?
No way.
Damn it. Fine. Then I have to protect what's left.
Hey, don't you dare try to pocket that money. I already said it's mine.
Excuse us. We'll be joining this little party. Wait, are you the husband of my beloved girlfriend?
Why are you here? And what do you want?
We were informed my wife's affair partner would be here. And apparently, one of the women who scammed us is here too. What a golden opportunity.
Of course, we were the ones who informed them.
Well then, good luck sorting this out.
What?
This is so unfair.
As a compensation for the affair, I'll take 3 million yen. Please. No, I'll pay it back someday, I swear. Just let me off the hook this time. Someone who has deceived so many people for years has no credibility. And as I understand, you are currently unemployed, so I'll collect what's owed while I still can. Also, you drank my collection of vintage wine while crashing at my house, didn't you? That's an additional 1 million yen. The money's disappearing so fast. Do you understand how we felt when we realized you were only being nice to us to get money? And we're just students. We can't casually buy bags worth thousands of yen. Some of us even had to take out loans. To compensate for the emotional distress, we're each taking 500,000 yen from you.
But it's my child support.
It's for your mistakes. The way you're using it isn't wrong. Also, we spread the word about all the terrible things you have said to us to your friends.
No, don't. I'll be all alone.
After the men left,
All that money and not a single yen left.
It was my child support. How could they do this? It's so cruel.
Ma'am, we ask that you refrain from behavior that disturbs other customers. May I ask you to leave? Oh,
Yes.
the stares from those around were piercing, and Masaya and Misaki quickly left the store, faces bright red. They looked like they'd been drained dry.
Guess they got what was coming to them. Serves them right.
what the hell? Even you guys are looking at us like that. No matter what happened, we are family at one point. To be treated like this is too much.
Yeah, seriously. Whether by blood or by marriage, I'm a daughter. I should have been loved and pampered.
Are you still saying that?
Ridiculous. Are your brains just for decoration?
Come on, that's enough, right? We've suffered enough. Can't you just forgive us?
Sticking to one thing forever like this? You're pathetic adults.
Why do you get to decide when we should forgive?
You haven't even apologized to us yet, so how dare you say forgive us?
Oh,
Well,
we're sorry.
we apologize.
Here's some good news. Actually, we only gave you 900,000 yen in the store. This is the real final 100,000 yen.
Huh?
What?
Here you go.
It's mine.
It's mine!
Masaya and Misaki then started a massive fight right in the middle of the street. Passers-by called the police and they were soon arrested. Later on, a video of Masaya and Misaki's fight spread online, causing a huge backlash. Since they had caused such a scene in a public area, someone recorded it. The money they fought over was scattered everywhere during the struggle, blown away by the wind and torn up. Some of it was even picked up by passers-by. In the end, the amount of money they ended up with was only a fraction of what they had fought for. From then on, Masaya was laughed at and pointed at every time he stepped outside. Misaki's phone was flooded with mocking messages from friends and notifications that they were cutting ties with her. If you lose your income, life obviously takes a nosedive. Masaya started job hunting for the first time in 20 years, but the gap in his resume was so big, he couldn't even get past the paperwork. Even then, he couldn't kick his habit of chasing women and kept racking up debt to visit hostess clubs. Misaki, on the other hand, took out a loan to enroll in a cram school, hoping to get into a Japanese university again. But she became the center of gossip because of that video. Feeling like she couldn't stay, she dropped out, and her results on the standardized test were a disaster. Embarrassed by the thought of attending a lower-tier university, she gave up on college altogether. In the end, the two ended up living in a cramped, run-down apartment, working day labor and odd jobs to pay off their debts. Their daily life is barely scraping by, with no trace left of the luxury they once enjoyed. Living unfulfilled lives, their fights have only escalated. Night after night, they argue loudly, earning complaints from their neighbors.
We should have been serious about work from the start, instead of cutting corners.
We should have appreciated the family closest to us. If we had, we wouldn't have been cut off like this.
As for me, I'm currently working as a receptionist at Kazuko's hospital, handling medical administration. It's been a while since I've held a job, so I've had my fair share of struggles, but thankfully, my coworkers are all wonderful people. I feel myself growing every day, and it's been fulfilling. Hey, did you hear? A new cafe just opened by the station.
Really? That sounds great. Let's check it out on our next day off.
We've become good friends and often go shopping or grab a bite together, enjoying some good old girl time.